Hello, my name is Lauren Christensen, and thank you for watching my video. I'm going to show a systematic approach to attacking the eye, ear, nose, and throat. But you'll notice that I don't follow any particular fighting system. It all works whether you're a karate person, a kung fu person, taekwondo person, you practice jiu-jitsu with striking techniques, or you just follow an eclectic street fighting system. It all works as long as you follow the principles and the concepts and the 9 angles of attack that I'll talk about in a moment. In training, too many martial artists just punch at openings without considering whether the technique would have really stopped the person. I think this is the fault of karate tournaments where techniques are awarded for any blow that lands in a target zone. Well, this doesn't get it on the street where an assailant may be impervious to pain because he's high on drugs, high on alcohol, or he's just crazy. Blows to the body may not have an effect because he's wearing a heavy winter coat. So in this video, we're going to get target specific and do some serious headhunting. The eye, ear, nose, and throat are relatively easy targets to hit and don't require a lot of power. Power is a good thing, but sometimes the situation is such where you just don't need a lot of power. You may be falling backwards or tripping over something. You may be tied up in a clinch, or a grappler may have you tied up in a knot on the ground. Maybe you're injured and incapable of delivering power. Or maybe you're just not a powerful person. We don't need a lot of power to ram your finger into somebody's eye socket, tear their nostrils, quick punch their Adam's apple, or slap their ear. All you need is an opportunity and a path to the target. We're going to examine 9 angles of attack as we go through the 4 targets. There's nothing mystical about these angles. They exist in many stick fighting systems and knife fighting systems. We use them here because they satisfy all the paths to the eye, ear, nose, and throat. By using angles as you practice, you ingrain them in your mind so that you can more easily see them in a fight, in the fury of a fight, and then respond with one of the techniques that you've practiced. Now, as we go through the targets, examining angles and various street techniques, you're going to see lots of opportunities to attack other targets. Now, we know they're there and they're just begging to be hit. But for now, we're just going to concentrate on the eye, ear, nose, and throat. And to expedite that process, we're only going to attack 1 or more of those targets. What I found working with students is that it only takes 2 or 3 sessions before their minds open up and they see those targets and the angles to them on every exchange. As we proceed through this tape, I'm not going to be using a normal fighting stance, but rather an open hand stance. This is a popular stance being taught by a lot of instructors now, including Sammy Franco in his book, When Seconds Count, published by Paladin Press. It's a wonderful stance in that it gives you all the attributes of a fighting stance. You're right here, your hands are open, your body's staggered, and you're ready to go. It's a very powerful position to create witnesses in your behalf. Should the fight explode, the police come and they talk to the witnesses say something like, well, I couldn't hear what words were being exchanged, but this one guy had his hands up like he didn't want to fight, like he was trying to ward the guy off. You're creating witnesses in your behalf, you have a low profile stance, but should the fight go, you're ready to explode. Let's take a look at the 9 angles that I'm going to be using throughout this tape. Sometimes I refer to them as angles, 9 angles, paths to the targets, or directions of force. They're all interchangeable words, all mean the same thing. As I mentioned earlier, they can be found in many knife fighting and stick fighting systems. The first angle is a straight up direction of force. It can be done with either hand, whatever the technique is. When I say right to left, I'm talking about my right to left. Number 2 is high right to low left. High right to low left. Number 3, high left to low right. Left to low right. Number 4 is horizontal, right to left. Right to left. Horizontal, left to right. Left to right. Number 6 is straight in. Either hand, straight in. Number 7, low left to upper right. Low left to upper right. Number 8, low right to upper left. In this fashion. Number 9 is straight down. Any technique that comes straight down. right, let's look at the 9 angles as they apply to eye techniques. A word about the eyes. You need to be justified before you ram your finger into somebody's eye or claw their eye in any fashion. Be justified. The fight should be even a life and death situation, because the police and the juries are not going to look too kindly to you ramming your finger into somebody's eye. Don't do it when you're arguing over a parking space. It should be a life and death situation. I recommend that you be familiar with the laws in your city, your county, your state, and to know when that sort of level of force is justified. The first direction of force is a upward direction of force. I can do that just simply by clawing here. I could be standing and talking to him, and I can just claw up in this fashion, claw straight up into the eyes. I like to use it out of a clinch, where I'm clinching with a person here, and I feel an emptiness in one of his arms. You have an emptiness here, a void in his strength in his right arm. I can grab his head and pull his head downward. Here's my direction of force, straight up. When you have his head canted so severely like this, your tendency is to claw too low. So aim for his forehead, and you're going to get those eyes just about every time. In this case, just aim with all 4 fingers, claw in, and tear back. So you're here, you're clinching, it's here, this method. It's all you need. It's all the force you need. Just a short shot to the eyes, and that's all the force you need to have an effect here. What we're looking for as an effect is anything from the guy just screams "my eyes," or the guy drops down on the floor and writhes around. If he's the kind of guy that maybe he just reacts by, goes my eyes, that's great. That's all you need to follow up with more powerful techniques. I break levels of force down into 2 levels. There's level 1, level 2. A short shot like this is just a level 1 force. This sets you up for more powerful blows, level 2 types of force. The second direction of force is high right to low left. High right to low left. I can be standing in this position. Look, I don't want to fight. Maybe he makes a threat. I'm going to go for a knife. He reaches back. I claw straight down. My hands are already up. I have a clear path, high right to low left. There's my path. Or he could be throwing a punch. I block his punch. I come straight down and claw at that particular angle. Maybe this arm is in the way, so I can't get at it with this hand, but my path is clear here. I block and claw down in this fashion. The third direction of force is high left to low right. I can certainly do the same thing. I can claw in this fashion. I can come down with a downward elbow. When you shoot with the elbow, you want to shoot with the point of the elbow right into the eye socket. I like to aim for the inside of the nose, and I can be accurate just about every time into that eye socket. Let's do something just a little bit different. Let's say he throws a high right punch. I'm going to block that punch, and I'm going to come down in this free angle. There's my clear path to the target, and I'm just going to thumb that eye. So I block, I come down, I thumb the eye. That's my level 1 force. I can deliver a stronger blow, say to the throat, come around and slap the ear. I can go for the other eye. I can do all kinds of follow-up. We're not going to do a lot of follow-up in this state. But here we are, push, back, and there's all kinds of targets available to me at that point. High left to low right, push back, follow up. The fourth angle is horizontal, right to left in this fashion. Let's say he throws a jab with this hand. I'm going to block that jab. I just block that jab. Here's my path. I come straight across horizontally. I'm using all 4 fingers. I can use 2 fingers. You can use 1 finger. It's your choice. I like to use all 4, sort of a fail-safe measure. I block, claw back in this fashion. Now I'm kind of exaggerating the motion here. You don't need that much force. You don't need that much extra swing. I'm just kind of exaggerating the motion so you can see it. You can make it really short right here, and you can come back with another technique. You can come back and strike them with a back fist to the neck or to the ear, all kinds of follow-up things. Here, straight across, straight across. The fifth angle is left to right in this fashion, horizontal, left to right in this horizontal. Now I can do the same thing. I can claw straight across. I can do a horizontal elbow. I can come in with a thumb horizontally. Let's do something a little different. You have to imagine that, again, I'm going to demonstrate this on a live person shortly, but that Bob is throwing a left back fist at me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 2-hand block here. going to block that back fist and scoot in just enough where I can get at his eyes. I block the back fist, here's my hand. There are the eyes. Level 1 power is all I need. I block, I claw. I block, I claw. If you like to cross over, you can step, you can block, claw the eyes. Now look at the shots you have available to you here. You have lots of stuff that you can do. So I'm here, cross, claw here. You could follow up with things to the ears. You can do all kinds of techniques from there. The 6th angle is straight in, straight in. I can be here, standing in this position. Again, he makes a threat, a very lethal threat. I'm going for my knife, I'm going for a gun. Bam, I just shoot it straight out. You know, I don't need to wind up here, I don't need to telegraph, I don't need to gather my strength. I have 3 kids, and every one of my babies at one time or another poked me in the eye as I held them like this. It's a very painful experience. By the time the 3rd one did it, I started thinking conspiracy. But I'm here, all I need is a short shot, bam, right to the eye. If my body happens to be turned a little more this way, I can shoot here. By virtue of the hip rotation, I can get more power if I choose to drive more power, and I want to drive my fingers deep into that eye socket. But normally, that's sufficient. Boom, right to the eyes. The 7th direction of force is low left to upper right, in this fashion. Again, use your imagination. Bob not only has no arms, but he has no legs. But imagine him throwing a side kick here. I'm going to block that side kick. I'm going to use 2 hands. I like to use 2 hands on my blocks. Some people don't. I do. 2 hands. My closest hand is the support hand. This is my blocking hand. I support it here. There's my shot. Boom, bam. Boom, bam. To the eyes. Block. If you like to use 1 hand in your block, you like to maybe block in this fashion, there you are. Block straight up to the eyes. In this fashion. The 8th direction of force is lower right to upper left. Lower right to upper left. Here, I'm going to imagine that I'm really close, and Bob throws a quick roundhouse to my middle. I'm just going to block that. I can keep this hand up. You can block with 2 hands, whatever your style dictates. I'm going to block. There's my path, straight up. Block, boom. I just claw in the way. I'm just kind of grazing his eyes. What I want is for him to do this so that I have an opportunity to deliver other bigger things. The 9th angle is straight down. If you see an opportunity, as you have your hands up trying to calm the situation, elevate that hand a little bit. Movement from movement is hard to detect. Movement from a total stationary hands is very easy to detect. So kind of move your hands. Look, I don't want a problem, so I'm getting that hand elevated. I don't want a problem, bam! I claw straight down. Here, boom. Straight down direction of force. You can also work this off your blocks. One of my favorites is to block a punch, shoot the hand to the forehead, or you can shoot it even to the nose, you can shoot it to the eyes. I like to use a forehead, and I push his head back, and then I come in here with a downward direction of force. There's my path. Path is open. I block, push, boom, here, claw right in the eyes. You can flick it, you can bury it, tear it down, you can tear it off to the side, your choice. All causes damage, all takes care of the situation. Block, boom, claw here. That's the 9 angles of attack on the eyes. All right, let's take a look at the 9 angles to the eye on a live human being. This live human being is Professor Tim Delgeman. Is a friend of mine and also my jiu-jitsu instructor. Tim is an 8th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu based in San Francisco, and he also has a black belt in karate. He's been kind enough to get whacked around a little bit today. When practicing with a live human, I recommend you wear some kind of gloves so you have some padding here, especially when we're talking about the eyes. And then, if you notice, he normally doesn't wear these. These are swim goggles. You can any kind of eye protection, as long as it can stay in place pretty well, is highly recommended because we're talking about the eyes here. So you recall the first angle is straight up. Now I can certainly come in this fashion. It's a little awkward. Maybe I can move up in this fashion here. But I like to use it off of a clinch or here. We're clinching around, and I feel a slight weakness in say his right arm here. That allows me to shoot to the head, freeze this hand, and I can claw. Again, remember you want to go for the forehead. If you go for the forehead, you're going to hit the eyes just about every time. If you think face, you're going to end up clawing down here and around his neck someplace. So think forehead. So a little quicker, we're here, and it's here. One more time. Here, go. Here, this fashion. The second angle is my right, high right to low left. In this particular case, he's throwing kind of a wild haymaker punch. I'm blocking here. Here's my path. This arm maybe is up covering himself, covering his head. I can't get to his face because this arm's in the way. This path is open, and I come straight down here. So a little quicker, it's here. From here, I can follow up with neck stuff, groin stuff, all kinds of things. Number 3 is my left, high left to low right. Again, I can come down, I can claw in the same fashion, but in this time, I'm going to shoot right for his eye with my thumb. That's why you want these goggles on here. Again, he throws that, right to the thumb. There's a throat, eyes, all kinds of neat little follow-ups you can do from there. Thrust your thumb into that eye and drive it back, and you'll see why a little later when I show a couple of street techniques using thumb gouges. This time we're going to go right to left, my right to left, horizontal. He throws a jab. I'm here, he throws that jab, I block. Here's my path, straight across. One more time, throws the jab, boom, straight across. Again, I'm exaggerating these motions, but you can make them very short because we don't need a lot of power here. Okay, this time he's going to throw a back fist. Now I can go left to right horizontal in this fashion. Let's do it off of a back fist. He blocks. Just a slight shuffle forward on my part. I'm now in range to do a horizontal across the eyes. One more time. It's here. This way. Now, if you want to cross over to get behind him or beside him, all you got to do, he throws that back fist. Claw here. Wham! And I got lots of stuff I can do on this side. So it works with either a lead forward step or a crossover step in this fashion. Number 6 is straight in. I'm here, I don't want to fight. He's making all kinds of threats. Maybe he reaches to his back to get a blade. Wham! And I just pick his eyes. I don't need a lot of power. I've got a short range, whatever that is. It's about 2 feet, maybe less. That's all I need. All 4 fingers go right into the eyes. If I want to use a little more power and I have the time, I can go with this lead hand. I have a little more power by virtue of being able to turn my hips here. Number 7, lower left to upper right. He's right here. Now I can come right here. Stay right there. Now I can come in this fashion. I can do all kinds of things. Let's do it off of a kick. He's going to throw a side kick. I'm going to block with 2 hands. This is my closest hand. I come straight up. Now ideally I get that claw in there one more time before his foot lands. So I get that shock of the eye flick before his foot even lands here, and that may affect his stability. The number 8 is my lower right to upper left. Again, I can come here. I can come with elbow shots. I'm going to aim for his nose, but I want to hit that point of that elbow right into the eye socket. Let's do something a little different here. Let's have him throw a punch to the middle, and I'm just going to block, and there I am. Now I can even do this backwards with my hand backwards, the back of my hand. All I'm talking about is the fingers here. It doesn't matter. If I use 2 hands, look, I don't want to fight. I claw this way. Boom, boom. Here. It's all good. Number 9 is downward direction of force. Again, I'm saying I don't want to fight with you. I'm saying it loud enough so the witnesses can hear. I don't want to fight. My hand's sneaking up here. Maybe he lunges to his pocket for a blade. Bam! That's when I come downward with that motion. I have movement out of movement. Rather than here, and shooting straight in, or shooting straight down in this case, I have some movement. This hand goes up, bam, and I just claw straight down. Or I can have him go out there, I throw a reverse punch here, I'm going to block, and I'm going to shoot this hand right for his forehead. Right to his forehead. See how that positions him up? I disorient his world, double disorient it by flicking his eyes. One more time, throws that punch. This fashion. Look at that throat. He wants to be hit. That throat wants to be hit. Lots of follow-up things you can do with the 9 angles. But right now, just concentrate on the 4 targets. All right, let's look at what I call typical street attacks, and because they're very, very typical, common things seen in bars and schoolyards and that sort of thing. We're going to show you some responses using eye techniques. These aren't very pretty. You're not going to see them in the movies because they're not real flashy, but they get the job done. Let's look at the tackle. There's many stages to the tackle. Let's just kind of look at the last two. And the first one, he's just coming in for the tackle here. The minute he touches, I want to react by just driving his shoulders down to the ground here. See the path I have? It's right here. Again, think forehead, and I'm going to claw. Now, I can either claw up, or I can just kind of windshield wiper here, just back and forth, and then move back. Now, whichever he's going to, if he lands, he may land 2 or 3 different ways. If he happens to land a little more, he comes in for the tackle here. He might push him this way. If this hand's free, then I'll use the other hand. So it just, whatever hand is free, that's the hand we're going to shoot there. Okay, does it a little quicker here. Right here. I move away from him. All right, let's take a look at the tackle as he's actually tackling me and taking me all the way down. What I want to do is I want to keep attacking his eyes as I'm falling. Don't be concerned about my fall. I just want to work his eyes so that he's thinking about himself and he gets off of me. Okay, he comes in here. All right, let's take a look at a body hug technique from the front, arms free. People always ask me, what if his arms are free? Well, then you can't do this technique. This is a, this is a response to the guy comes in and some kind of a bear hug, and this is a way to get him off you. Here, I'm standing here, I went, both thumbs in the eyes, pushing back. If he falls down, great, or you can follow up with techniques, follow-up techniques of your own. One more time. Here. A second variation on that is to take him down. I'm going to do basically the same thing, but you notice when I thrust my thumbs into his eyes, his head snaps back. That's exactly what you want. You want his balance going backwards. Now I'm going to take him down onto his back. I don't want to follow him straight down because his legs are going to fly up and I'm going to get hit in the cookies here. Instead, I want to step off to the side and take him down and then do follow-ups from there. So here he comes in. Hi, this is a good technique against a choke. Most people, when they put the hands on the neck, they're going to drive you back against the wall. And that's what's happened in this situation. Tim has me back here. He's got a two-handed choke on here. I'm going to grab with both my hands, I'm going to grab his wrist. Doesn't matter which hand, in this case I have his right arm, and I'm going to thrust that out to the side. I'm putting all my strength against his thumb, and I win. I hold on to this arm as I bring it back and knock his other wrist away with my elbow. Notice how close this hand is. It's going to shoot right up here to the forehead. I bend him back, step in, and I hit him with my elbow. When you do the downward elbow, don't just use your arm in this fashion, but sink your body here. Put your body weight behind it, pointing the elbow right into the eye socket. As he hits, snap your hand down and get one more shot. And move out of there. A little quicker here. Always move away from him. You may think you caused him some damage, maybe it's just matter now. So get out of his range. All right, let's look at a bear hug from behind. And again, this is arms free. He comes in, grabs, boom. You have to act fast so he doesn't lift you up, throw you down on the back of your head. What you want to do is look over your shoulder to see where his face is. In this case, it's right there. I claw those eyes. I'm going to push down on his form, push down to get him off balance. I step back. It's almost like an about face in the military. And as I turn, I'm going to push down, down he goes. I'm going to move to his head, and I'm going to claw those eyes as I move away. A little quicker. He grabs. All right, let's look at a ground technique. In this particular case, I'm on my back, and he has landed on top of me. He's applying a chokehold. Sometimes you can reach the eyes. This particular case, we can't reach his eyes from here, so I need to bring his head down. I'm going to buckle the closest arm here. What that does, it pulls him down. The minute I buckle that arm, I go for the eyes. I'm going to bump him off in the direction he's already leaning. I'm going to roll up. I check this arm. Hammer fist right into his eye socket. Since I'm getting old here, I need help getting up. I'm just going to lean on his eyes and push back. A little quicker. Down. Wiggle around, I can't reach. All right, let's look at a couple of combinations you can do with eye techniques. This follows under the concept if one thrust in the eyes hurts, then 2 or 3 thrusts probably really hurt. The first one here is off of a kick, and it's 4 techniques. What's happening here is Tim's going to throw a lead roundhouse kick, and I'm going to block with my 2 hands. My support hand is my closest hand. Straight shot right to the eyes. This follows an arc. Now, if you, we have 9 angles. If you want to have 11 angles and have arcs, that's fine. I just include the arcs in the horizontals. That's the way I do it, just to kind of make things simple. But I block, I come up. This is a right to left horizontal, followed by another right to left horizontal. His head snaps over to the side a little bit, and then I follow back with a left to right horizontal and a left to right horizontal in this fashion. So out of those 4 times, I'm hoping for at least 1 contact, or if I'm having a really good day, it's going to be 4. So he throws the technique. Here. One more time. Here. Now you can practice this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 really, really fast, but you have to keep in mind when doing it in the air or doing it on a mannequin dummy that their heads don't move, and that your invisible person's head doesn't move. In reality, if I hit, his head's going to move. I have to give him time to maybe start to bring that head back before I follow up with the other 2 techniques. So just keep that in mind. You can practice and become a real blur with 4, but keep in mind it may end up being 1, 2, 1, 2, that sort of thing. So, okay, another combination that you can do is off of a reverse punch. In this case, I'm going to do the old sweep block, wham, and I'm coming straight into the eyes. Snaps his head back, and I follow with a downward technique here. So it's just 2 techniques. I'm following his head in this fashion. One more time. Here. Straight down. Now here those were power ones. I could follow with some 2s, big groin shots, do all kinds of stuff, foot sweeps, or maybe he'll just fall down. What happens if he falls down? Why waste that good time as he falls down just watching your good work? Instead, follow him down with more eye techniques. So I'm here. The ball of the foot fits nicely right into the eye socket. As you pass, biff, into the eye, move back. Okay, the mannequin dummies, such as this one, are wonderful for practicing eye techniques because their eyes are exactly the same width as most human beings. If you don't have such a dummy, you can draw little pictures of eyes on your wall, or you can glue buttons on the wall. You can hang glasses, reading glasses without the glass in them from a string, and practice poking your fingers in them. Using the mannequin dummy here, you can just practice. You can go slow at first, just kind of working your way up, watching what you're doing. I'm doing thumb gouges. I'm doing 4-finger gouges. You can't see them here, but I'm doing 2-finger gouges. I'm doing scrapes. I'm doing hits down the face here. One way that I like to practice, I like to pretend like I've been hit. You can do this with a live partner too, but you can also do it with the bob dummy here. Pretend like you've been hit, and as you bend over,